Good evening, and thank you for joining us for tonight's webinar on electrifying your home with rebates and incentives. My name is John Silcox. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Fairfax County Office of Environmental and Energy Coordination. I'm going to be moderating tonight's event, which is brought to you by our Carbon-Free Fairfax initiative, which is an education and outreach campaign emphasizing ways that county residents and community members can decrease their greenhouse gas emissions in support of the county's climate goals, one of which is to be carbon neutral by 2050. And one significant way to reduce your emissions, save money, and make your home more comfortable is by making energy efficiency and electrification upgrades. And tonight we'll be talking about ways you can take advantage of some federal tax credits and rebate programs that are going to help reduce the upfront costs of energy efficiency measures, things like getting an energy audit, installing electric heat pumps or other appliances, using smart controls for your heating and cooling, and much more. Before we begin, I do want to thank my colleagues, Jim Person with Fairfax County's Office of Public Affairs, and Kate Daly, Emily Bohr, and Matt Myers in the Office of Environmental and Energy Coordination for their help in putting this event together. Also, a few housekeeping things to note. This webinar is being live streamed and recorded. If will be available to view on the county's YouTube channel as well as the OEEC Facebook page after the event. As we are streaming, attendees may submit questions through the comment feature on YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be hoping to address those at the end of our presentations. So we will allow for some questions following those presentations from our guest speakers, but we have a great lineup of speakers tonight, and we are excited to hear from them. And we'd like to jump right into that now. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Michael Forrester. Michael is the Assistant Director of Partnerships with the U.S. Department of Energy's Office of State and Community Energy Programs. He's managing the program design and implementation of the $8.8 billion home rebate program that will offer rebates directly to low and moderate income households to install new energy efficient technologies and reduce their energy bills. Michael also oversees the latest and net zero energy code work for states and communities that's funded through the Inflation Reduction Act. So Michael has a lot on his plate, and we're really excited to have him here. Now I'll turn it over to Michael.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Really appreciate it and really appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone here today about improving energy efficiency in their homes and what's available out there to help. So really kind of what we're going to run through today is I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of some of the monumental legislation that has recently been passed that can help you with energy efficiency upgrades. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the tax credits that are available that you can utilize as you look to improve the energy efficiency in your home. I'm going to talk a little bit about the upcoming home rebate program that my department is currently working on and will become available later this year. And then I will talk through a little bit about some of the next steps that you can do as a homeowner as you look to go on your energy efficiency journey. So real quick to start it off, here's the important slide. I am not a tax attorney. I do not offer tax guidance. I work for the Department of Energy, and these tax credits are governed by the IRS. So if I say anything in conflict with what the IRS says, the IRS wins. So please use this purely as an informational guide and refer to your tax attorney or to the guidance offered by the IRS. That being said, a little bit about myself. I'm the Assistant Director for Partnerships here in our State and Community Energy Program Office. We are actually a relatively new office that was established under back in November of 2022. I'll go into why and what we do just in a little bit. I'm the former Sustainability Director for the City of Cincinnati, launching a large number of renewable energy, low-income energy efficiency, and electrification programs throughout the city. I'm also a relatively new Fairfax County resident. I have a freshman at Woodson High School, and I have two twins in Frost Middle School. So happy to present to all of you today. So a little bit about my office. Like I said, we are a relatively new office, started in November of 2022. We run the Low-Income Weatherization Assistance Program that's been around since the 1970s, providing energy efficiency upgrades to low-income homes at no cost. We do approximately 32,000 homes every year across the country, and that's been significantly plussed up under the bipartisan infrastructure law. We run the state energy program, where we provide direct funding to states to implement their own clean energy programs and goals. We run the Community Energy Programs Office, which offers funding for schools, nonprofits, and local governments to implement energy efficiency upgrades. And finally, we have our partnerships pillar, our technical assistance and partnerships pillar, which I'm the assistant director of, which does maintain the IRA home rebates program, the IRA energy codes upgrade program, and a number of small technical assistance grants and education opportunities. So this is just for scale, some of the programs throughout our office. You can see we offer a large number of programs, but by far the three largest programs are our Energy Codes Assistance Program, our Home Energy Rebates Program, and our Weatherization Assistance Program. So we're at a very interesting time here. We've recently passed very significant legislation. The bipartisan infrastructure law, which was passed in November of 2021, is a significant investment in America's infrastructure, building roads, building bridges, but also doing things like improving clean water infrastructure, removing lead pipes, increasing broadband access to our rural areas. I'm really kind of building the backbone of the modern 21st century American infrastructure and repairing infrastructure that we've previously not had the funds to address. We passed the CHIPS and Science Act back in July of 2022. And really, this is about investing in America's technology, investing in America's factories, making sure that the semiconductor shortage that occurred under COVID does not occur again. And we've seen significant amounts of investment and announcements of high-tech factory jobs across the country as a direct result of this act. We have the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed in August of 2022. It represents the largest single investment in the climate and to fight inflation that the country has ever done. And this is really what we're going to talk about here today, is how the Inflation Reduction Act really, what does it look like on the ground? What does it look like in your home? How can you, as an American citizen, take advantage of some of the programs that are here in the Inflation Reduction Act? Yeah, we'll just skip that. So anyways, a little bit about the Inflation Reduction Act. It is, like I said earlier, the largest investment of climate and clean energy in American history. It really provides long-term market stability to manufacturers, to investors, and a lot of that market stability is through clarifying the tax credits that are available for these types of investments. If you've followed this field at all, you know that a lot of the American incentives for investments in clean energy and in energy efficiency has been through a tax credit vehicle, but it's done in a stop-start fashion. It's past 1 year, it expires, the Congress addresses it a year or two later, it gets backdated, it gets forward dated. That's very hard for the market to plan around. It's very hard for an individual to make a decision about whether they want to invest in their home. And so the Inflation Reduction Act really does provide that long-term stability and clear market signals so that people can develop business cases, people can make choices around investments. And that's one of the big outcomes that you're going to see from the Inflation Reduction Act. It obviously delivers a historic focus on domestic job creation because it has strong incentives around prevailing wages, apprenticeships. It has a significant amount of workforce development programs to bring people into the clean energy workforce. My office, in fact, runs a $200 million energy workforce program to help train individuals for the clean energy workforce. Our goal is to make sure that we're not only bringing people into the jobs, but these are good paying jobs. There's opportunity for businesses to grow because as we move down the path of this clean energy transition, we need to make sure that there are individuals that are there to do the work. So next slide, and it's going to have a real impact. So we're very fortunate in that the actual carbon emissions from the United States of America is falling. Since 2005, we've fallen approximately 25%. But by 2030, with the Inflation Reduction Act, we're looking to create significant reductions in our overall carbon emissions and hope to achieve over a 40% reduction in emissions. How are we going to do that? So this is a quick breakdown of some of the investments that will occur across the Inflation Reduction Act. The couple of things that I want to point out here, in your upper left-hand corner, you're going to see the Home Energy Rebate programs, which we're going to talk about a little bit. You'll see in the upper right corner the investment in clean transportation. There was a significant investment in electrical vehicle charging, because we know that while electric cars are certainly here, almost 10% of the market, the charging infrastructure to support those cars does need a significant boost. But what I really want to draw your attention to, again, is down in the lower left-hand corner with the energy tax credits. This is a approximately $360 billion program. Approximately $277 billion of that program we anticipate to go out as tax credits. And so that's for investments in wind and in solar, large-scale utilities, in our grid, and hydrogen, but also in your home. Those are energy tax credits that you can utilize and you can take advantage of right now, today. They're available for you to utilize as you improve your home. So I'm really just going to focus on what's available to you in your home right now. So when we look at investments that you can make in your home, some of the big things that that obviously come to your mind are investments in solar energy, investments in wind energy, investments in geothermal energy. Those are you can receive approximately a 30% federal tax credit that reduces the overall cost of that investment to you as a resident. So when you think of a solar, let's say we have a $15,000 solar array, you can receive approximately 30% of that investment back when you file for it on your taxes. I will say that you do need to have taxable income in order to claim that tax credit, which is why the rebates, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, are also so very important, because they also make these types of technologies available to lower income individuals that don't necessarily have the tax burden that can utilize these tax credits. So when we think of solar, when we think of wind, when we think of geothermal, we have that 30% tax credit. When we think of other investments in your home, when we think of it like a heat pump, everyone has a heater in their home, and many people have HVAC or has air conditioner in your home. Well, a heat pump does both. And so if you wanted to convert your natural gas furnace, or you had resistance heating or propane heating into a heat pump, you would be eligible for a $2,000 tax credit to reduce the overall cost of that heat pump. There are also other things that are available. If you're increasing your electrical load at your home, you may need to upgrade the electrical panels or the wiring. That is eligible for a $600 tax credit if you need to increase the capacity of your circuit breaker box. Also, air sealing and insulation is one of the most cost-effective things that someone can do to their home. So those are also available for a tax credit up to 30% off the overall cost of what you spend on those on the installation of those materials. So, when you go up into your attic, when you think of the pink fiberglass bats, when you think of the blown insulation, when you think of the little spray cans of foam, all those are eligible for tax credits because you're working to air seal and insulate the home. And again, I'm a little bit of an energy nerd. The return on investment versus what you put out versus what you save on your utility bill really is greatest in that air sealing and insulation. There are tax credits available for windows and for doors that you can receive a maximum up to $500 for windows and doors. It starts out $250 for the first one, $250 for the second one. I myself installed a new patio door this year, and so we'll be claiming the Energy Star tax credit on the door. So that's a nice benefit that people should be aware of. And then there are tax credits available for home electrical vehicle chargers and energy audits. Energy audits are, of course, very important because they help you develop a plan for how you're going to upgrade your home. You can choose to do this as a piece by piece approach, or you can choose to lean in, develop a plan, look at the tax credits, and figure out how you can maximize your incentive to reduce your overall out-of-pocket costs. Another thing that was included that was very important is that there is something called elective pay. And I think it's very important that people realize that a lot of these tax credits, like I said earlier, are available only to people that have a tax burden. And so companies that do solar on their roofs, do energy efficiency upgrades, often have the ability to claim that tax credit. But nonprofits, municipalities, schools do not. And so they would not, that type of incentive would not be available to them to reduce their overall costs and cash outlays to do this investment until now. So recently, as part of this legislation, elective pay was passed that essentially allows tax exempt entities and government entities to receive that tax credit in the form of a cash payment. So effectively reducing the overall cost of the installation of these technologies and really actually giving these types of entities the same cost as a for-profit business would. Like I said, I worked in city government for the city of Cincinnati, and we would have to pay full cost for every single solar installation that we put on our roofs. We would not have the ability to claim the 30% tax credit to get that back to make the business case about why we need to invest in these types of materials. And so this elective pay option really brings it in reach for cash-strapped municipalities and cash-strapped nonprofits and schools so that they too can utilize these types of programs. Real quick, I also talked about our home rebate program, which is coming out hopefully later this year, probably towards the end of the year in Virginia or early 2025. This is approximately $8.8 billion that's provided as a direct point of sale rebate. So you do not need to wait to file your taxes. You would not need to submit it after you'd paid it out of pocket, and then wait for the check to come back. These are designed to be point of sale reductions off of the invoice that either a contractor or you would pay at Home Depot. There are two types of programs. One is our homes program, which is more focused on energy reduction in the whole home. So if you reduce your electricity consumption or energy consumption by approximately 20%, you can receive a rebate. Our home electrification and appliance rebate program is significantly more prescriptive. It is a direct rebate for a specific technology purchased. And the incentive is increased for those that are below 80% of the area median income. So when we look at our homes program, like I said, you need to reduce the overall consumption at the home by a minimum of 20%. And if you're below 80% of the area median income, the rebate that you're eligible for is therefore doubled. So you can receive anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000, depending on the amount of energy that you're saving and the income in your home. I guess I left out the slide on the electrification, but for each specific type of technology in the appliance and electrification rebate program, think heat pumps, think electric water heaters, air sealing and insulation, and circuit breaker boxes. There is a specific rebate amount provided you're below 150% of the area median income that you could be eligible for. If you're below 80%, that means you could save up to 100% off the installation costs. This is just a slide is just highlighting that the money is flowing from DOE to the states, and the states will actually implement the program. So DOE lays out the rules, the state of Virginia then develops a program, and then they are funded through DOE. The state of Virginia, as you see here, is eligible for approximately $189 million to support these rebate programs. Again, these are state-run programs. So Virginia will set up its own programs, set up its own rules and requirements and types of technologies that it chooses to incent as part of these rebate programs. So we've talked a little bit about tax credits, and we've talked a little bit about the rebate program that's coming. But what can you do as a resident? Well, first and foremost is develop a plan. Conducting an energy audit, contacting your local utility or your local energy provider. They may offer, and I believe we have someone from Dominion on here, so I don't mean to put them on the spot whether they do or not. I'm not sure. But they may offer an energy audit. There's also a number of contractors that offer audits as well. And as I said earlier, energy audits are eligible for a tax incentive. Other things you can do: go up in your attic, look at your insulation. How much is in there? You know, you should at least have 16 inches of loose fill insulation in your attic. You should have at least 14 inches of fiberglass, of that thick pink fiberglass in your attic. If you got spray foam, it should be 7 inches. So poke your head up there, and if you can see your roof rafters, you're probably low on insulation. Go check your circuit breaker. Take a look and see how big it is. Are there spare circuits? Is there extra capacity? What is the amperage? Typically, to do some sort of full electrification program in a house, depending on the size of the house, you're looking at 150 or to 200 amperage of circuit breaker. And again, there is a tax incentive if a 200 amp circuit breaker is installed. Take a look at your major appliances. Are they Energy Star certified? How old are they? A number of appliances have tax incentives available to them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here, but there's a couple of things I want to leave you with. So first and foremost, everything that I've said here is available on the Department of Energy's website, energy.gov/save. And really, that can kind of walk you through whether you're a homeowner or a renter, whether you live in a single building or a multifamily building, what types of energy incentives are available to you. The US EPA recently launched their Energy Star certified rebate, or their energy rebate finder, which EnergyStar.gov will both allow you to find out more information on specific energy efficiency products, but it will also search based on your zip code eligible incentives that are available for you based on that product. So I would encourage people to go there. Obviously, our website is here, and if you have any specific questions, feel free to email our email here at irahomerebates@hq.doe.gov. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out here and say thank you, everyone. I know we're going to do questions at the end of this webinar, and I'll turn it over to John. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Such a great amount of information there and really valuable. And we look forward to you sticking around and answering some questions at the end of our presentations. But Michael did mention getting in touch with your local utility, and it just so happens we have some folks on who I'd like to introduce next. It's my pleasure to introduce Travis W. Bryant and David Gray, who are representing Dominion Energy's energy conservation programs. Travis has extensive experience managing a diverse portfolio of residential energy efficiency programs across both Virginia and North Carolina as a project manager for Honeywell Smart Energy. He's been with Honeywell for over 4 years and is a proud alumnus of Virginia Tech. And David has directly managed energy efficiency operations across multiple territories throughout Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina as a project coordinator with Honeywell Smart Energy for the past 6 years. And he really enjoys that journey of Dominion Energy's customer rebate programs, from program development to actually deploying them to serve communities. So we are very happy to have Travis and Davis on, and I'm going to throw it over to them. And I'll let Travis start us off.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Again, I'm Travis Bryant. I'm here representing Honeywell and Dominion Energy Conservation Programs. Let me get my slides up here for everybody. There we are. Okay, so we're here to present today on Dominion Energy's energy conservation programs for Dominion Energy customers in Virginia and North Carolina. Dominion Energy is committed to providing reliable, affordable, and increasingly clean energy that powers customers each and every day. Dominion Energy offers energy conservation programs that help customers to save energy and thus save money on those monthly utility bills. So an overview of all of those programs that Dominion Energy does offer is available at the link provided there, www.dominionenergy.com/Virginia/save energy. And you can see all types of programs that are available to Dominion Energy customers, both in the residential homeowner space, the residential space, but then also non-res for commercial entities as well. They have all types of programs for both residential and non-residential. On the screen there is we do have a QR code that you are able to scan with your iPhone or smart device. That'll take you directly to the webpage to find out more about the programs that are available, how you're eligible. All those types of things are available on the website, all the different programs that is available to customers. So we do encourage you to check out our websites to find out more about our energy conservation programs and how they can benefit you. And when you go to that website, you'll see our landing page here. And it's really, like it says right on our homepage there, saving energy is easy for you, the homeowner. This is our relaunched, revamped site for customers. It's really going to help you get started on your energy efficiency journey. See where you can be saving in and around your house, maybe some habits you could change, some programs you can participate in to lower those utility bills. Really encourage customers to check out the new website and see all the things that are available to you and how we can help you become more energy efficient. So certainly check that out when able to do so. So the programs that we are going to cover today are three particular programs in the residential space. Again, we do have up to 20, 30 programs in both residential and non-residential. But in the interest of time, we are covering the three that are on the screen there before you. I'm going to review the virtual energy audit, which is really our gateway program for customers to get started on their energy efficiency journey. And you can do it from the comfort of your home. You can do it while you're on this webinar. That's how simple it is to participate in that program on a computer or a smart device. And then my colleague, David Gray, he has some great information about our introductory energy checkup and also our comprehensive energy audit. So they're all about kind of how invested are you looking to be on your energy journey at this point in time. You can get started with the virtual energy audit and then work your way up to the energy checkup and the comprehensive energy audit. They're all available to residential customers and a great way to become more energy efficient at home with a 10-minute virtual energy audit, a 30 to 60-minute energy checkup, or the comprehensive energy audit that can be 2 to 4 hours. But that's really going to break down your home on how you can be more energy efficient, such as things that were mentioned earlier with air sealing and those types of things are available to customers as well, and with great rebate opportunities. So the virtual energy audit, again, this is our introductory program, our gateway program to get you started on your energy efficiency journey. And you can do it from the comfort at home on a computer or smart device. You can find out where you could be saving energy around your home by quickly answering a few questions online. Really takes about 10 minutes or so from start to finish. And at the end of completing your audit, you will receive a personalized report with a list of options, along with energy saving products delivered to your door at no cost. So you take the audit, depending on your answers to those questions, you'll see what you're eligible for, and we will send you a virtual energy kit at no cost delivered to your door. Again, depending on your answer to the survey questions, you could be eligible for any of the items listed there, of which are low flow shower heads, LED bulbs, outlet switch gaskets, a smart power strip, water heater pipe installation for the hot water pipe with your electric water heater, door weather stripping, window weather stripping, very crucial to energy savings this time of year with those drafty windows and crevices under doors that gets the cold air in. So those are very important. Also, door sweeps and caulking are available within the virtual energy audit kit. So those are just some of the items that could be delivered to your door at no cost. So when you get started, this is what the audit looks like. This is the very first page on the account verification for Dominion Energy customers to fill out their account number, their last name, and zip code. So those are the 3 pieces of information that you need to be validated to enter into the virtual energy audit. So very simple. If you have your Dominion Energy bill handy, you'll have your account number, your last name, and zip code, and then you're off and running into the virtual audit. As you'll see there on the taskbar, there are 8 steps. The first one is validation, and then steps 2 through 8 are the survey questions. What type of hot water heater do you have? What type of windows do you have? Are they drafty? Those types of questions about your house that you're able to answer. And then we'll see what you're eligible for within the virtual audit and send those items to you along with this report that is generated in real time. So you quickly fill out the virtual audit, and this report is created in real time. So it's going to give you a breakdown of the items that you're going to receive in your virtual audit kit listed over there on the side, and also provides an approximation of the kWh, the savings, energy savings that can be expected to be saved by installing the items that will be sent to you. And those kWh, that's what feeds into your utility bill. So the idea here is we want to reduce the kWh so that your utility bill will be less for you each and every month. So that's a look at the report of what it's going to look like when it's sent over to you. Again, this will be emailed to you in real time upon completing your virtual energy audit online. So that's our gateway program that gets you started on your energy efficiency journey. So when you're ready to get even more involved on your energy efficiency journey, that's where my colleague David comes in with his programs that he's going to speak about now that are also available to Dominion Energy customers.
Thank you, Travis. What we have for the next level for our customers, we have the Home Energy Evaluation Program. The Home Energy Evaluation Program, it's a 2-pathway system, depending on what level of investment that the homeowner wants to go towards. So we have the introductory energy checkup, which requires about 30 minutes. It's an evaluation where the contractor that the homeowner chooses goes to the home, identifying some suggestions. And then at that point, it's great for families and individuals who want that introduction to energy savings. Customers receive a personalized report after that for them. Those are ways so they can save energy usage. And during that time, they can also do direct installs, and I'll speak on that in a moment. The second pathway, which requires a higher commitment to an in-depth energy audit, that's that full comprehensive energy audit, and that's done by our BPI, building analyst professional contractors that have been certified with that. And that is a great next step for those interested in making a long-term commitment in their home's energy efficiency. It also gains access to more rebate opportunities like insulation and air sealing, in addition to simple measures that are available in the quick checkup. So going back to the introductory checkup, it's easy and it's hassle-free. It's that start session, and that's when participating contractor will work with the customer and they submit a rebate application for work completed in the home. Those rebates may include direct install LED lighting, heat pump tune-ups, heat pump upgrades. There's hot water pipe installation, duct sealing and insulation, efficient shower heads and faucet aerators and kitchen and the bathroom. And there's more opportunities also. Those are all found on the website that Travis mentioned earlier on the DOM Savings website. And going into the comprehensive audit, we have it's where we have the option for higher level energy efficiency measures, such as the home air sealing and insulation in the attic and the walls, basement crawl spaces. After completion of the audit, the contractor will provide the homeowner with a higher level detailed energy savings opportunities, which has recommendations, and it has that kWh, the energy savings that they will achieve if they were to do those improvements. The homeowner can then schedule that contractor to make those updates, any ones that they choose, and the contractor will then handle the submission of the rebate paperwork for the customer, or the customer can submit on their own. And those rebates can go to the customer, or they can be offset for the cost of the entire process for it. So in addition to the tax credits that were mentioned before, this is a great way to get customers' foot in the door for further energy upgrades. So thank you. In determining what kind of improvements that you like in a home, we have, again, the domsavings.com websites. That's where you can find the program that best fits your needs. The program is quite intuitive, so it'll guide you based on what your needs are in the home, asking a few questions, and then it's always shareable. We like you to share these programs with your friends, family. If we have any HOAs in neighborhoods or neighborhood newsletters, those Facebook pages, any way to get the message out, that's a lot of grassroots. We have a lot of opportunities to spread the word and spread the messages. So back to you, Travis.
Thank you, David. I think we're going to hand it back to John here. So thank you for going into detail on those programs, David.
Well, thank you both. Thank you both, Travis, David, for that great information. I know you're going to stick around too for some questions here at the end. But we've heard from Michael Forrester from Department of Energy about some of the federal tax credits and rebates that are available through the Inflation Reduction Act for energy efficiency and electrification projects. And you just learned how you can participate in Dominion energy conservation programs like their virtual audit and some of the other more comprehensive energy assessment programs that they're offering that can help you save money and make your home more energy efficient. Now we're going to hear from someone who has made some energy efficiency updates, like adding solar power, installing LED lighting, purchasing a high efficiency water heater, and using Sense monitors in his home for heating and cooling. Chris Miles is a lifelong resident of Fairfax County. He's here to share a little bit about his own energy journey, how he was able to take advantage of some of the information that you've heard about today, and how he's actually going to benefit from some of the tax credits and other programs. So with that, Chris, take it away.
Thank you, John. So let me see if I can get my slides up here. Oh, there they are. So I'll start first with installation that my wife and I did back in last October. I've been looking at solar systems. The homes that have been built in our neighborhood were getting solar panels installed on them. So I've been looking for a while at different solar systems that could be installed on the roof. But to be honest, my wife and I had a metal roof installed on our house. And so the companies were really reluctant to add solar panels to a metal roof. It's possible, but it just could negate we had a 50-year kind of lifetime on our metal roof. So they were a little concerned about doing that. So I started looking actually at a system called the Smart Flower. It's a series of panels that opens up when the sun comes out during the day and actually tracks the sun as it moves across the horizon. So it's really a beautiful system. It looks nice in the yard. We had a electrical contractor that came out and he installed a 4x4 concrete pad and ran a couple of conduits that went into the house. But other than just a little, probably half a day's of work, you can see that's the Smart Flower set up in our yard. And we worked with Dominion Energy on getting a permission to operate the system. They also came out and installed a net meter so that power that it generated would be credited to our account, kind of as an offset to the power we were using. And so far, it's only been since October, but we've seen about a third of a third reduction on our electricity bill. And the cost of it, as was said earlier, we expect we're applying for about a 30% reduction for the cost of the system and the installation. So we hope to get that off of our taxes in the coming year. So so far that's been a great system. And then the next slide. So we also made the big decision to purchase an electric vehicle. In June of last year, we bought we got a picture of it here. The Ioniq 5 is a Hyundai car. It's got no tailpipe. It's truly zero emission. Had been driving Hyundai vehicles for quite a few years now, my wife and I. So we looked at this one, and to be honest, my mother lives down in South Carolina, and I've been tracking, could we in fact charge the vehicle up all the way down to South Carolina and back? And it came to the point that yes, we could do that, but not only could we do that, but Electrify America was the charging kiosks that Hyundai provided 2 years of free charging for us. So there were enough Electrify America charging stations all the way from our house to Charleston, South Carolina, that we could drive and charge along the way for free, basically. So we did that this last October, went down. There were plenty of charging stations. A lot of them were at Walmart's. And that car goes 300 miles between charges, and it charges up to like 20 to 80%, which is kind of the sweet spot that electric vehicles like to be operated in. Does that in 20 minutes. So our charging period is really quite fast for this car. The other thing that a lot of people are doing is having charging stations installed in their homes. So we followed that and did that this last December. I've been watching level 2 charging. Level 1 is kind of that plug that you can just plug into any outlet and charge your car up. It charges at about 1% an hour. But level 2 is a higher, faster 30 to 40 amp charging. And I've been watching the prices of those and those chargers, level 2 home charger, dropping, and they were dropping some pretty substantially. They went from being about $500, $600 last year to this Christmas, they were suddenly below $200. And there was a new product on the market. I've got a picture of it there, the Stokes voltaic system, that was $199 on, and it did require having a 40 amp dryer outlet installed in our garage, which I had done by an electrical contractor. But it's really a nice charger. Does everything I needed to. Looks like Back to the Future. I think y'all probably remember in the movie the forget what the charging system was called in his car, in his Back to the Future car, but it kind of looks like that, and it runs really well. And we've got a charging outlet in our car for that, or in our garage. So the next slide, my wife and I also have a pool in our backyard, and it's been in place for about 8 years. So we've gone through updating some of the equipment in our pool as well. And so it's kind of interesting that energy efficiency is not only for your home, but could be for things in your yard and as well. So we had a variable speed heat water pump put on our system in the pool. And that system uses a lot of energy when it's running. So having it be able to efficiently speed up and slow down really helps out the pool system. We had a heat pump and put on the pool. My wife and I retired about 4 years ago and decided we really wanted to enjoy the pool more. So having the water warmer is a big part of that. So putting on an efficient heat pump is important, and it's amazing how much better they've gotten in the last few years. The price of chlorine has gone up. So we had a smart chlorine dispenser that takes the tablets and kind of over time regulates how much chlorine is being put into the pool. We've also had a remote timer installed on the pool, so it's running really only when we need it to be, and it's ready and warm when we want to go out and use it. So that really has helped us to use power when we need to, I guess I would say. And I've got a picture there. We installed a system that's actually a solar water heater. It was a kind of a DIY project, but it runs with a little solar panel and a submerged water pump. So when the sun comes up, the solar panel causes water to start pumping out of the pool into the heater, and then runs across vacuum tubes and back into the pool. And it's we found this last year, it was running about 8 degrees of extra heat that it was putting back into our pool. So 8 degrees of free water temperature all the time was really a huge benefit. So between the free hot water and the high efficiency heat pump, we're keeping our pool at about 80 degrees. It's very comfortable to be in, and we're not paying as much as we were before. Sorry, I don't have an exact figure for how much that saves us, but it's one of those things we're kind of watching over time. There's a number of other things we've done in our home. We had our kitchen redone, and it's amazing to me that basically every appliance has been improved. So we used to have a gas cooktop, and now we have what's called induction cooktop. What it's doing is it's basically treating your pots and pans as if they're speakers in a stereo system. Energy in the induction cooktop causes the pan itself to heat up. So you're not just radiating the bottom of the pan with a lot of temperature like the old gas flames used to. It actually directly heats the pan. So it's gone from like 40% efficient to like 90% efficient. We have replaced a lot of the LED light bulbs in our house. A lot of the old incandescents with LEDs. So we're using a lot less power than we used to. We've installed a light control system that controls when the lights in our house cut on and off. So we're not wasting light anymore where we don't need it or when we don't need it. And we installed smart thermostats. So they kind of regulate our upstairs and our downstairs systems and keep them warm during the day when we're in that part of the house. And when at night when we're not using them and off season and stuff, they're saving energy. So the other interesting thing that I thought it definitely falls into that nerd category is the Sense monitor. Got a picture of it there, but it's a system that we bought through Dominion Energy, and it mounts inside of our power box and has sensors that sense not only how much energy is coming into the house, but ours came with sensors that we put on the power that's coming in off of our solar system. So you can see a little picture of the amount on that day. It was a nice sunny day. The solar system was generating about 2,100 watts of power. The house was using 753 watts of power, and we were therefore putting the remainder, about 1,351 watts of power, back onto the grid. So as it shows, 100% of our usage of electricity was powered by solar at that time. Now, obviously, at night, we're not generating nearly that much power. We're not generating as much power during this time of the year either. But over time, the Sense system will actually build a device power use list. So we'll know which devices in our home are using how much power, and we'll be able to adjust that over time. So we can turn off devices that are using lots of power and really work towards a more efficient home than what we have, and really a healthy home. That was a term that was used that I thought was really interesting, was to kind of develop not only an energy efficient home, but a healthy home as well. So, John, I think that's all I've got. If anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Just amazing what you've done, and thank you so much for being a climate champion here in Fairfax County. We really appreciate hearing your story. I think there have been a few questions that have come in, so right now I'll be asking all of our panelists to come back on so we can address some of the questions that we've received. And if you do have questions, feel free to put those in the comment sections. If you're watching us on YouTube or on OEC's Facebook page, you can put your comments or questions, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. I know that there's probably a lot of questions about some of the information that has been presented. I want to start off with asking one question for the panelists. For those who may not live in or may not own their home or live in a single family residence, any advice you would give to those people about how they could make some energy upgrades in a home where maybe they're a renter or they live in a multifamily housing? Maybe I'll start with Michael if you have any thoughts on that. Anything
Yeah,
that you would
I mean,
recommend?
sure. So there's a number of ways that you can do that. I mean, one of the easiest ways is, oftentimes light bulbs fall on renters, and so upgrading to LED lights. There are a number of other renter programs that are available depending if you're low income and you have permission of your landlord. You can utilize the weatherization assistance program. Also, the home rebate program is available to you as a renter. So those are available. And again, I would encourage people to go to energy.gov/saves. That really does kind of go into a number of incentive programs that are available to renters as well.
And real quick, I'll just ask Travis or David, is there anything you would add to that in terms of the customers you work with who might not be
Sure.
homeowners?
Yeah, my mind goes towards changing the habits. So the best way, the easiest way, and the fastest way that homeowners can, or renters, whomever, can adjust their costs for energy savings is to look at their habits, look at their behaviors. The biggest one being your heating and cooling right now. We're about to go in the shoulder months, so you might not be using your heating systems as much or their cooling systems as much. So you'll see your prices go down. So changing what you feel comfortable with for your comfort in your home, that might be the easiest, fastest way to make some changes. And like Michael said, finding those easy fixes, the LED light bulbs, those are instant changes and instant savings. And then what else? Yeah. If you're running your bathroom, running your laundry all the time during peak times, that might not be the best time to put it. So finding better ways to use your energy is going to be the fastest way, in my opinion.
Great, that's some great advice. Thank you for addressing that question. I think we have a couple questions. One that Chris, maybe you can speak to. There was a question about how did the cost of that sunflower solar array that you showed us compare to the roof panels, and how much
Yeah.
kilowatt hours does the sunflower produce versus maybe what a rooftop solar might?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to produce more during the summer when the sun's out a lot more and in the sky some more. Right now, it's only producing about 2.5, 3 kilowatt hours per day. But it should be producing 5, 6 kilowatt hours per day when the sun is really shining on it well. I will say it was more expensive. I think someone mentioned, Michael, I think mentioned 15,000 for a solar panel system. That I found systems that were probably in that range, $50,000 to $20,000. This is more. It's probably closer to 40,000, but it's beautiful as well. So what's the value of art? That's hard to judge. It's one of those nerd questions, I guess.
Oh, it looks great. And thank you for addressing that question. I think we have a sort of a related question, and maybe Travis or David, you could speak to this. How does maybe Dominion handle, the energy that might be generated by a solar panel, in terms of how that's handled in terms of the customer's, utility bill, or is there anything you could say about that? Or
Yeah, I would chime in there to say we the energy conservation programs that we are help run for Dominion Energy. We don't have any kind of access to that type of information. I would certainly direct a Dominion Energy customer to the Dominion Energy website to find out more information about that excess energy and how it's handled within their relationship with Dominion. I know that information's out there, so I would encourage them to route to the Dominion Energy website to research that information.
okay, thank you, Travis. Michael, I'm going to direct one question to you. I know you prefaced your comments by saying you're not a tax attorney, so I don't want to put you on the spot here. But if people are wondering, like, I did an energy project like 2 years ago, can I get the tax credit now? What is there anything you can say about whether those are retroactive to anything that might have been done in the more than last year?
Yeah, so it really depends on kind of what it is and when it was installed. So I mean that's something that you're really going to have to. There may be some eligibility for some products, but others are really something that has come out under the Inflation Reduction Act. I mean, so the retroactivity is really going to depend on equipment by equipment.
Great. Thank you for answering that question. And one real quick follow-up to that, Michael. We've heard about some of the other, Dominion programs and maybe some other local programs that might be out there. I would assume you can still, apply and get your tax credits even if you take advantage of other programs that might be offered through your utility or things like that.
Yeah, these are all stackable, depending on what you've put in place, and the amount of rebate that's been claimed. But yeah, they all are able to work together.
Well, it's amazing how time flies when you're sharing this kind of great information. We've already almost used up our hour, and we've gotten some good questions. But I do want to be respectful of our panelists' time, and I just want to go ahead and just share a few quick things that are also very much, I think, helpful to people who might be watching today's webinar. So while you heard a professional energy audit can be maybe the most comprehensive way to assess your home's energy use. There are some DIY options for people who want to get started in this and aren't really sure what to do. You can certainly reserve one of those thermal imaging cameras or a conserve kit from any of the Fairfax County Public Libraries to inspect your home, look for those hot and cold spots, and then make energy saving upgrades, starting with those conserve kits and then building from there. So that's certainly one thing that we want to share with people. We also want to note that our office manages an energy conservation assistance program, which is a cost share program that provides financial and technical assistance to property owners who are making energy efficiency updates, installing energy solutions like solar, or enhancing the resiliency of structures to withstand the impacts of climate change. So, if you are a member of a community association like an HOA or COA, part of a nonprofit organization, or place of worship in Fairfax County, your organization may qualify for up to $10,000 or more in reimbursements for doing some of these projects. So, certainly visit our webpage to learn more about that and apply. And then we wanted to note too, we heard about solar, and Chris talked about the solar array that he put in his home. There are a couple of programs that are solar group purchasing programs that are available to Fairfax County residents to make getting solar easier and less expensive. These programs typically offer a free assessment to help you find whether your home's a good candidate for solar. They offer bulk discounts on the solar systems, discounted opportunities to bundle your solar with other things like EV charging stations or solar battery storage. And both of these programs, Capital Area Solar Switch and Solarize Virginia, are going to be launching their 2024 campaigns in April. So stay tuned for updates from our office about those campaigns, and take advantage of those opportunities when they come. We also want to note that there's a lot of other energy assistance resources on our website, on our home energy page. If you want to go to that, find out how you can take advantage of some of those weatherization assistance programs and programs to help with energy bills that are available to low income households that need that assistance. So feel free to check out those resources as well. So I just wanted to share a little bit more about that. And with that, we'd like to thank you so much for attending tonight's event. Thank you to our panelists, Michael, Travis, David, and Chris. If you want to learn more about the energy tax credits and rebates offered through the Inflation Reduction Act, visit that DOH Energy Savings Hub, that website that Michael shared. If you want to learn more about Dominion Energy's residential energy conservation programs, check out that Dominion Energy page that Travis and David shared with their programs. And there's other tools and resources as well on the Office of Environmental and Energy Coordination's website. So our website includes a lot of great information, a lot of resources, checklists, videos, infographics, and other resources that can help you take climate action, reduce your home energy bills, and be more comfortable and more sustainable. So once again, if you tuned in late, a full recording of the webinar will be available on our county YouTube site and OEC's Facebook page. We appreciate those who participated tonight, and thank you for the questions, and have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much.